Guess what? We're live.
Hey, guess what? It's just the Sky Kid. We're at Palace Day Shilarino. It is Thursday night, and the video before this was the performance of Audio is Rehab. Joining us this evening is Audio is Rehab. Hello and thank you.
Thanks for having
us.
us.
Wonderful.
It was a pleasure.
So we'll do quick introductions, your name, and what it is you do in the group.
My name is John E. Bong, the letter E, Bong, like the recreation center. I play guitar and bass through pedals, and I sing in Audio's Rehab.
Hi, I'm Eric, aka Mr. Massacre. I play the drums, and I play the drums, and I set up the drums, and I do backup vocals occasionally.
And how long has Audio is Rehab been a group?
8 years.
Wow, he was like on it. Bam. And I mean, when you messaged me to be on here, it was like Summerfest, 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 Summerfest. So besides playing Summerfest, what is it that you do? Like attribute your rise to fame.
Well, most recently we were running an open mic, having a little fun and making sure some people could have the same like 15 minutes of fame, like the spotlight on a good stage.
Unfortunately, we didn't rake in enough people, so it just recently got canceled. But it had a good like 3-month run, and
we got a great experience out of it.
So
we play bar shows all the time, probably once a month, twice a month. We're out there. I mean, you know, we've got day jobs, but being nighttime rock stars is, you know, a dream of ours.
where were you doing the open mic?
JC's 80th and National in West Dallas.
And it was based on attendance? What day of the week were you doing it?
It was on a Tuesday.
Okay.
So, you know, we tried to like Taco Tuesday because everybody loves tacos, right?
Right.
So we did get some people, but it just, we didn't get a big enough, you know, draw to the location. And we're like more known on the east side. So if we did something on the east side, we're more likely to get a larger group. But the way Milwaukee is like, if you hang out on one side of town, it's really hard to get you to go hang out somewhere else to do something. People generally like people that stay on the east side.
Because that's the most music-influenced side of town in
the
Milwaukee,
fans, the
Wisconsin.
people that enjoy the music. They like the bar, they enjoy the music, but they're not necessarily going to go across town to another bar to come see you.
Which is lame because
So,
it's like,
it's, you know, it's just one of the things about the city, and you know, the bigger it is, the harder it is to have a good music scene. You know, so we keep it alive. We keep doing shows, and we support venues that, you know, pay musicians well for their performances, because, you know, it is work. It's you know, it's a lot of fun, but there's a lot of, you know, the behind the scenes and cleaning up and moving stuff, and you know, we provide a service, and we like to support the bars that give back to us. So we did the open mic, and JC's is a great place, and I'll still do shows there. It just, you know, we just didn't have the foot traffic. We
Not very known in West Dallas.
Gotcha.
More known on the east side of Milwaukee.
besides having people commute, which seems to be an ongoing challenge for everybody everywhere, how have you been able to successfully play Summerfest so many times?
So, initially, we were outside the gate buskers. We would bring our equipment, set it up, batteries. I got the madness. I'm kind of like an electromagnetic, like a mad scientist. So I built a portable rig that, you know, we could roll out and do stuff. And we went down there one year, and he had half of his drums, and he had to go pick up the other half of his drum set. And I'm sitting there with my stuff and half of his drums, and the police come up and they get in my face. They tell me that I can't be there, that I have to move everything right now. And he's gone, I can't move everything, and I'm like, this isn't, so...
It was a real nasty moment.
I spent the entire next period of time before Summerfest designing and building a drum set that fits on a platform, like a mobile drum riser, and it splits in half. And the drum set is all like fastened down, so
and
you can put it end to end and push it through a crowd. It was 28 inches wide, so it could fit through a doorway, with the drum set fully assembled on it.
Well, what got us inside of the grounds? What got us inside of the grounds was
Well, that's part of
Me-
what got us in there.
part of it.
Our effort
But
in
what got us
busking
onto
and
the
our
Renegade
crazy
stage,
equipment.
which is where we met everybody and we got well known into the Summerfest local music area was we were down there chilling, you know, because we always do Summerfest, and I ran into my mom's down there, and my mom, you know, she picked a stage. We were with her at a stage, one of the side stages, and she's like, "Oh, you could do this. You could do this." So then when they get done with the song, she goes up on stage and goes to the guy who was running it all, and she's like, "Hey, you want to get my son and his friend up here to play.
Johnny
They're better
Wash
than
Day.
these guys. They're better than these guys." And then she ended up dropping my father's name, who was Patrick Morrissey. He was a famous local musician on the East Side back in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. And the bass player and the guy who was in charge of the stage happened to know my father. And as soon as he heard the last name and he found out that I was a drummer, he gave me and Johnny Bond the opportunity to give a demonstration of our music that year. And then after that, we fit right in, and then they made him the manager and the sound guy.
So
and I was
I'll
the drum
cut in
tech.
right there. So Johnny Wash Day,
Johnny
let us
Wash
in
Day.
because of his dad. We got like kind of bumped ahead a little bit, and he told us send me your demo. We did have to send him a demo and go. We went to his house and sat down and talked about Summerfest, and his stage and what he believed in and his views on it. But when we went big. We always go big, man. We full
Always.
send, rock star. So we brought this rig that we were using outside the gate inside. So when they saw that, it blew their mind. They couldn't imagine. Like, we wanted to go right in the middle by the sprinklers in the middle while everybody's leaving, and there's always the guys playing the buckets. But forget them. We want to put a band right there. And
Something you don't see every day.
Something you
Out of
don't
the
see.
ordinary, and that's our main aim, is to
So
give
then we got
the
invited
people
back
something that you don't see.
the next year, and I think 2017, I was given late nights with Johnny Bond, which was 10:30 to close on the walk. We would bring out this busking equipment on the sidewalk inside Summerfest, and a bunch of musicians, friends, and people working the stage, anybody who played an instrument, we'd all get together and jam and throw a big bucket out, and we would have fun on the sidewalk with lights and all this crazy stuff that was battery powered.
And we made mad bank.
Yes, we made a lot of bank playing Summerfest. It can be a lot of fun.
Inside is where if you want to get noticed, publicity-wise, is inside. But when you play outside, that's the money. Because I played, I was with some other projects too at the time, and we ended up winning a Battle of the Bands competition, and we got onto the Harley Davidson stage.
Ooh.
And you figured, the Harley Davidson stage, you get a little, get a little more pay, get a little more recognition or so, but it was just, to play on the stage, and the stage was great, but you're playing in front of an empty audience. But all in all, the better experiences were on the side Renegade stage. Audio was Rehab, and even though the big stages are awesome, great sound, everything, but there's no pay in it if you're local, unfortunately.
The energy just isn't the same.
Exactly.
So Rebel, what Renegade was.
But hellified
TV
sound.
Mm.
Like you're sending sonic
So
booms
we're from
at each
Milwaukee,
chick.
and it's like the world's biggest music festival. So as a band, one of our original first goals was to play inside Summerfest.
Mhm.
We had gone there as kids, hanging out and seeing all the music and bands.
And it was
kicking on the
also a
rocks.
dream of my father, since he was a musician, to play at Summerfest, and he never got inside.
Ooh. And you did.
Yup.
Congratulations. That's awesome. Off camera, we were discussing some of your other sort of, I would say, interesting methods of attracting captive audiences. I find that very interesting that you were like, oh, we're just going to go to the bathroom and play. So if you're taking a piss at Summerfest, you might end up hearing some of these guys and what they have to deliver to you, because your dick's in your hand and you ain't going anywhere. So that's pretty revolutionary in and of itself. How about the name Audio is Rehab. Like, how did that come to be? It's a killer name. You guys are awesome. Like,
Originally-
you just rock.
All right, can I tell the original story? So,
Let's do.
all right, and then I'll let you. So, originally we were Alcohol is Rehab. That was the name of the band.
Oh yeah.
And so,
Which I like that name a lot better.
Where that came from?
I'm stealing it.
Where that came from was a Dennis Leary joke. He has a joke about rehab where he says, "Oh, back in the back in the '70s, we didn't even have rehab. Hell, rehab was you quit doing coke and heroin and you just drank and smoked weed for 2 weeks." So that from there, in my head, I'm weird. It was like, alcohol is rehab, and it acronyms to AIR, and I thought that was amazing. So we started out as Alcohol is Rehab, but we found that like marketing was hard, and I have kids, and man, they really love the music, and they love me, and they wanted to wear my band shirts to school, and that's a no-no. I guess we found out that they can't wear the shirts, so we rebranded.
And we had, and pretty much for the sake of, to make it family friendly, and also it gave a more, Audio is Rehab gives a more positive attitude. It's a more positive name. Even though Alcohol is Rehab is wicked, it's rad, it's awesome, but alcohol and audio are, you got negative and positives, but you got more positive out of audio than you do alcohol. And for the sake of the kids and also for the sake of marketing, we changed it to Audio is Rehab.
I
which
mean,
is still a good
honestly,
name.
like, at first, drinking was kind of like an outlet, but it really became.
And I was the only
music
one who was
the
drinking
rehab for us.
out of the group.
The drinking wasn't the rehab for us. It's the playing the music. So that's
Well,
why
at
we
the time
chose
it was kind of
Audio is
rehab for me.
we wanted to sidestep. We didn't want to totally throw it off, but we knew that like find a band that has the name of liquor that
Hey, kids drive.
is on the radio.
This is very true. I find, like, just in the short few minutes that we've been doing this interview, the main thing that I've taken away from this one is that you are resilient and adaptive. You will find a way to fit so that your music can be heard, which I think is very important considering the challenges that come with playing original music. That kind of being said, when you do decide that we're gonna sit down and we're gonna write music, how did this group come to be? Like, how do you know each other, and how did you decide to stay a two-piece?
Well, we've known each other since the 80s. We grew up on the same block, but we weren't really like friends. We didn't start kicking it until 1995 out of middle school. We started a small little blues project, and it was alright, nothing major. I mean, a couple of kids trying their luck at the music, and kind of, went south for
I
a
could
minute.
play the one riff from All Along the Watchtower.
Yeah,
We just played that
but then
over
that's
and
it.
over
That's all
again
they
on
knew.
this- on this
But
yard.
anyway, years later, up to like 2006, I was playing with my father and this other guitar player, Rob Nasty, and he started recording all of our music and putting it out there. He started off as making sure we all got heard, and that's when he came up with the name Alcohol is Rehab. And then after Dad went somewhere else and Rob went somewhere else, we lived together sometime later, and then we got together in the garage. And originally, our prototype project name was Smashcasm, because at the time I went by the stage name E-Smash, and he had a lot of sarcasm. But anyway, that name ended up we ended up taking Alcohol is Rehab because it was such a good, catchy name, and we rewrote the material and became a two-piece, so forth, and that was 8 years to the day.
Yeah, so when we were 4 or 5 years old, like you said, we lived on the same block. We played at the park. right? But we didn't. I didn't know him. I don't. There's no like brain reference to it. But my mother and his grandmother say, "Oh yeah, you guys played together," you know. So I'll believe him, right? It's reasonable.
I remember
enough.
more.
But we went to middle school together is when we actually
Playing cake
met,
parties with my father when I
introductions,
was a kid.
you know,
But I didn't
introducing with names and whatnot. And then after that, we just hung out. We both like cartoons and video games and music. So, he had a drum set. I had a guitar. I couldn't play it for nothing.
And I already was playing for like 10, 11 years. I've been playing since I was 4, and I was like, yeah, so 10 years.
Damn.
I already had 10 years.
You've been playing guitar, drums since you were 4 years old?
There's pictures of him as a little kid playing drums on he's got the pots and pans set up, and his mother tells me this story all the time, that
That's
he
how
was
they
like,
potty trained me.
he's a little kid, and he would go in the morning, he would open up the pan, the thing, and just start laying them out and like set up his pots and pans drum kit around him.
And I was about 2 years
And
old
he
at the
would
time.
wake everybody up by banging on these pots and pans.
My mom says
Such an
too, another
adorable
story that
story.
she always gives is that she went to a Rush concert 8 months pregnant with me, and I came out rocking. And there she has pictures of me on the potty chair with pens playing on pots and pans. So, but as far back as I can remember, I remember being 4. That's the earliest I can remember. But I guess I've been playing since I was like 2 years old, and I'm 37 now, so that's pretty much 36 years.
So in 2005, 2006, again, his dad was in town playing with somebody, and on the side, he was teaching a guy how to play acoustic guitar. And it was in the basement, and I happened to be living in the basement at the time. And I had a super cheap guitar, and I had my electric guitar that was all broken. I still have it, but it was unplayable. And I watched him teach this other guy, and then in my own time, just did all the stuff and played, the same kind of technique that I was taught. And his dad's method was all about how to move your fingers, not how to play certain notes. He didn't teach scales or songs or notes and this is how you move your fingers. And it's like the best thing I was ever absorbed somebody else being taught.
Spider on hot coals.
So yeah, spider on hot coals, flesh on steel. There's all kinds of the 1, 2, 3, 4 is the basis of everything. But so I learned to play better by watching that during that time period, and by 2009, I think, is when you moved in. He came and moved in with me while I was living in Sun Prairie.
That was 2011, because that was
11?
after
Okay.
I got the Jeep.
Yeah, okay, that's legit.
Yeah, that was
So
2011.
he moves in with me, and we're both at a level where I was like, we could actually, play some music and do something. We played in the garage and we listened to recordings, and we were like, we could put this out. We could go do this. So we started going to the Up and Under Monday open mic in 2015, I want to say. The first time we went in, we played. I wasn't singing back then. I've kind of progressed in that, where written more songs with words and sang more. But originally, we just played instrumental songs.
And Dollars to Donuts were going to go up either next or after this band, guaranteed. And we went up next. Never forget that.
So besides drums, do you play anything else, or that spoke to you? That's it. That is your instrument.
Drums, and more drums, and percussion. And I do backup vocals, but mostly any instruments. And I've tried them all. I've tried guitar.
Ooh.
I've tried guitar. I've tried bass. I've tried cello. I've tried violin. Hell, I even tried trumpet and keyboards and everything. So I can't just say I never tried. I actually went the distance and tried everything, but the drums were my thing. That was my soul.
I would agree.
What I
Those
control.
That's
So
your thing.
I just focus everything on drums and drum tech. Plus, I'm a certified cartoonist and animator, so I do a lot of album art. That's another thing I do.
Wow.
With the music. So you could say outside of drums, I take care of a lot of album art, because those are some of the areas of my expertise.
Awesome. And what albums have you, is it local? Have you gone regional, national? Who are you doing album art for?
As currently, I am just doing it for our band, Audio is Rehab,
Okay.
as a way to decorate certain, I don't have any page. We have one page that's decorated, but it was the original album art cover where I originally drew a guy. His back is turned towards the fourth wall, and he's holding up a crucifix.
Hear no
And
evil.
the light, and there's rays of light coming from it, and he's holding it up in a black background where all you see is a set of demonic eyes and a pair of clawed hands trying to get at him. But the rays of the light are melting the fingers, and you got the blood of the demon all over the cross. And then when I gave it to him as album art, he put a golden guitar over the crucifix, and that became Hear No Evil. And that was the first album art
was actually that was a limited release. We only made 25 copies of that album, and it was released with logo wall scrolls, and it was all on USB because I run this campaign as a musician. I say, like, people say, oh, I got this CD, and I look at them and I say, what the heck is a CD? And I look at my phone and I try and smack it into my phone. I'm like, how do I don't know, do we have some,
That's
it's the future, we're on Spotify, we're using USBs and computers, CDs, they skip, they don't last a long time, but a digital file,
You gotta love Laserdisc.
That's super hilarious because the Scraps, so we were at a show at Bremen last Friday, okay? And the Scraps ran a few of their demos so that they could hand out to people, and almost everyone was like, I don't know what that is. And we were like, really? And they're like, yeah, where can I find this online? So it really kind of speaks to that age. However, I think that we've run the gamut because we have folks like you that are like, here's a USB, you can listen to our music, here's our stuff. And then you have other folks that are like, fuck technology, we recorded this, whatever, here's a tape.
I could name a few individuals that I still know to this day that are like that.
I mean, we have all forms of media in our home that is able to be played because we run across so many different types of ways that music can be played. And I think Kiff kind of being very old school, we have a record player, we have a tape player, we got a Zune.
Yeah.
Surprised you don't have an 8-track.
I don't know, it might actually be in his shit somewhere.
Betcher has one.
Betcher has one. So, I mean, we kind of, and for a while we had bands that would come through that were like, all we have is tapes because that's the medium that's coming back. Or we'd have people that were like, all we've done is dedicate our money into an actual 45 or 7-inch. So it's like, oh, okay, you have a whole bunch of people who decide to do music a whole bunch of different ways. So, Mr. Bong, besides playing guitar and singing, what else do you play?
So I play clarinet, I play cello, I can play a piano, and I can play percussion. I've tried to play saxophone, and I guess I don't have the armature for it. The clarinet
is fucking clarinet, man.
The clarinet's
you gotta
tighter,
eat the mouthpiece
and
more.
I can't loosen up for the saxophone. And I actually own a trombone, and I could kind of play the cornet in high school, but the trombone, there's something wrong with it. There's this little tiny elephant inside it, and he's really hurt.
Oh no!
And he's stuck in there. It's so bad, but. I would love to be able to play it because I love ska, but I can't play guitar and trombone and sax and everything all at once. And I got this weird thing where I really don't like releasing music that we can't perform for you live.
Have you ever incorporated any of the other instruments that you can play into Audio as Rehab?
We have occasionally done, sometimes we'll just do a jam for the crowd, something totally made up right there for whoever's there. And that's the kind of time where I'll bust out the clarinet and we'll do a jazz jam. Some of the metal stuff has cello in the background as the heavy. So I have used it very lightly on some studio projects that I don't think anybody's heard. I have a vault of like terabytes of music that like I doubt anybody's gonna hear it unless I sit down and go, all right, let's listen to this stuff from 2010 or something like that. Because I've always been into recording and
that's how we
mixing
start.
as
That's
well.
how we started into it, and
And
also he's the technical guy.
I've always wanted to record our music since we've started making it where I feel like people, like I'm okay with other people listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to record it, but that's really expensive to go and have, like, go to a studio and recording time, and it's, it's stressful because you got to get it all in this time and go. And so I wanted to do it myself, so I just started investing in equipment, and everything on our studio album is recorded by us. Mixed by myself and my roommate, Josh Wilkie, djembe Josh Wilkie, plays a giant hand drum and he's swell at it. But he does all the mastering. I do like mixing and leveling. Nowadays we have a studio in our basement and record all kinds of stuff. I've just done a hip hop song, a rap song with C4 Entertainment's AC Mac and Young Choppa.
Yeah.
That song was pretty good. They're going to release a video soon. So
Awesome. I like that this interview has written itself. These people did their homework. They were prepared with what questions I was going to ask. So from mix, mastering, and recording, you then release it where? How much music is available and where is it available?
That is all this guy.
okay, so we've got older music on SoundCloud. That's stuff we recorded. It's mostly live recordings with other musicians. So it's featuring like Big Rob Nasty, it's a local Milwaukee musician. Brian Dallister is a bass player. We did a little bit of stuff with. Some stuff we did with some brothers doing some metal. A metal project we had called Metapsycho. That's all going to be on SoundCloud under Audio's Rehab. We have Audio's Rehab on Reverb Nation. It's kind of everything that's on our studio album, but it's like the basement cuts of everything. And then if you go on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Deezer, Tidal,
All
Google,
of the major
Google Play,
music
everywhere where music can be found, you look up Audio's Rehab, and we have available our most current studio album, which is Audio's Rehab Zen. And then there's some additional tracks that are available that are electronic music. They're either hip hop beats or like dance music that we've made just cause.
Ooh.
Because we had to do it.
So this leads me to, because I know that it's almost like the top of the hour, how about merchandise? What merchandise do you have? You have USB little port things that people can get, yeah?
Pins,
Yeah,
stickers.
we've physical copies of Zen. We've got some buttons available, T-shirts, all with the
Sweaters,
Audio's Rehab
hoodies.
You
logo.
have sweaters?
Hoodies, yeah. We'll put we do our own screen printing, so we put logos on just about anything.
We also
want.
have a few
We make wall scrolls,
black
on pool
black
felt.
black background posters that we drew with neon Sharpies.
Those were really cool.
We want to start putting out more of those.
We've done a lot of like handmade stuff because
Oh, man.
the
You
the
have
kind
wall
of fans,
scrolls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Fucking
want a
weebs.
wall scroll.
So
Yeah.
we have a lot of fans that end up being like friends. Like it becomes
That's
this
the way it
close
should be,
knit
right?
thing, and we like to make a more personal product for people than just going online, clicking. And
Gotta love the
ordering a bunch of
drunken
shirts.
monkey.
Like
Ooh.
yeah, for us, like every shirt we've sold, we hand printed it and baked it in my oven with heat guns, and
That's awesome.
we do the work.
And
We
spend
put it in
spend countless hours on.
drawing stuff using like old school projector stuff with transparencies to project onto the wall so we can draw out our
He was
logo.
even making drumsticks out of pool cubes.
old pool cues.
Dude.
I'm a like mad scientist maker. I think I said that.
So have you ever
I got the
heard of
madness.
Beaker?
I have. Beaker's
Dude,
great.
we
Love
need to do
Beaker.
like a science show where it's like Mystery Science Theater 3000 and it's Beaker and these guys, and that'd be awesome.
Oh, dude, that would be
Right?
incredible
Wouldn't
to
that
play
be
with
cool?
them guys.
Hey, May 2nd,
Wow.
what you guys
Fritz, I
doing?
love that
Because
guy.
there's a show at
Oh,
the port we need a band
man.
for.
Hey, we play shows.
That would be a real
I'm
treat.
just saying, it's called a reanimation show. It's an art and music collab. Artists fill up the port, and we're looking for bands to play.
Oh, that's definitely right up our
Yeah, we
Hey.
play shows. So
Hey.
And we do our.
we got a website, audiosrehab.com. It's so simple. It's a straight .com. None of that weird stuff.
You're also on Facebook.
Yep, we're on the Facebook.
Are you on Instagram?
So the
No.
band isn't on Instagram, but I do have an Instagram. It's Scamageddon. If you want to see flowers and beautiful scenery, that's I got it.
See,
It's
it's
a
re-
thing. It's a weird thing that I got.
It's okay, because like half the time people will follow me and then like I follow back and I'm like, I don't know who these people's real names are or where they even like relate, because for some reason there is a disconnect between the social medias, which just like I keep my name Jess the Ska Kid as that on everything so that people know who I am, but like you have multiple names then, because on
I do.
Facebook you're a different human, you have the band
So
thing.
dirty secret, I have a YouTube channel with
You
over
do?
171 videos and over like 200 subscribers.
Mhm.
That is also Scamageddon, and I do a video
But it's all him
series.
playing with guns. There's no
Well, not just guns. I do a series called How's It Going, where every episode starts with a how's it going? And then we talk about something, whether it be a specific knife or shooting guns or whatever. And then I have another series that's called Above and Beyond, and that's me flying drones over things.
Wow.
So
These guys do everything.
He tries.
my number one video is How to Fix Bicycle Lights Part 1. And hang in there, Part 2 is coming out soon.
So, how about upcoming shows? Where can people who watched you tonight catch you next?
Our next show is going to be on Leap Day, February 29th,
Holla!
at Up and Under Pub.
It's like not even a real day.
That's on
Just
Brady
kidding.
Street, 1216 East Brady Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's going to be at 9 o'clock. It's going to be Audios Rehab, a band called A Smidge of Evil.
We know who that is.
Yeah, that's,
Sorry.
yeah, it's a really good band with great friends of mine. And a band from Wisconsin Rapids called Nova.
Ooh.
So it's going to be interesting, very interesting.
That does sound pretty interesting. Very cool. So guys, I want to thank you for joining us. I know that we are done, and I think at this point we're all fucking freezing since we're sitting in the fucking cold ass basement.
Oh, you
Uh,
ain't fucking liar. Fuck the cold.
Oh, I'm not as strong as you,
we
drummer.
all chose to live here.
I
True
didn't.
that.
I
But
couldn't
still.
escape because of
Fuck
my
the
economic standing. My parents forced me to be here. So, anyways,
People with more money than you would tell you that's a choice still.
it's not a. Yeah,
That's
well.
the joke.
I got it.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your capitalism, says the girl that wears a red coat. Viva la revolution. I'm a cat, like communist.
My coat's
Anyways,
tan.
this has been Audios Rehab. You can check them out on Facebook as well as YouTube and various other SoundCloud and various other streaming services. You can catch them here, and you can catch them at the Up and Under on the fake day, which is February 29th. With a few other people who've been on our show just because of Punk Fest and such things. So, without further ado, we bid you a good evening. And next week we have Wolf, who is the drummer of Beaker. He does a solo thing, and he's playing next week here in our basement. Okay, thanks. Bye!